I think the WEF cult wants to turn NATO into a unified body under one governing authority. So imagine, the way Illinois operates. They have a governor, they have state police, they have laws, but federal law supersedes it and the feds can come and go as they please. I think that's what the World Economic Forum envisions for the Western Bloc.
Well, that's kind of like the way the European Union works, right? You're the sovereign nation of France, but if Brussels passes a new rule that says your glass bottles can only be 6 inches high, France is like, well, we must comply.
But that's because France is basically a state.
Exactly.
Within
all the European
country.
nations are.
And they want NATO to be that.
Yeah.
They want there to be one governing authority comprising of all of the Western Bloc, and then the United States would have NATO troops coming and enforcing laws. Like we have the FBI. The FBI they're a federal branch. They're not your state. In New York, they're forbidden by law from working with feds on immigration stuff. So yeah,
right, because of the sanctuary state thing.
Yeah,
that's working out great. Also,
the presidents and really Congress may get won by Republicans, and then they'll say we are no longer going to abide by the rules of NATO. And then NATO says we can still deploy our troops, we still have military bases, we still have offices in your country, and you can refuse to work with us, but we will operate. You can't do anything about it. That's the direction they want us to go.
Do you think people will comply? I mean, I remember when Britain left the EU. There were so many people saying, but why would they do that? Whereas to me, it seems obvious that you would not want to be under a central control of an organization that doesn't necessarily represent your views uniquely. You want your government to represent you, not all of Europe. But I think people get sucked in by the idea like, oh, it's cooperation. We all have to have each other's backs. Like they sell it in sort of this romantic way. It gets confusing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's even happening in America,
I think so too.
Because we're not a federalist nation anymore. We just ignore the 10th Amendment. And so, yeah, you have this all powerful DC. And if you are a cattle rancher in Montana and you're like, why the hell does DC get to? It's because we're DC and we're in charge.
And the federal government's looking out for you.
The federal government is more powerful and in charge.
My friends, none of this matters because before anything advances in terms of the expansion of NATO, we'll get World War III. From the Hill, Blinken, quote, Ukraine will become a member of NATO. And there you have it.
He was very clear in this.
He may as well have just said, Russia, please declare war now because we have effectively said it's on.